Hey everybody, Mark Assert, Sales Concepts, and I'm going to do a little something different here. You can see I have a quote up here. Successful people are not people without problems. They're people who have learned to solve their problems. Earl the Pearl Nightingale. Love that dude. It's a great quote. Have that written down. I look at it whenever I feel like I'm against it at times. But the reason I'm here today is just wanted to talk briefly. As you can see, it's ticking underneath you there. We are talking about what are we talking about, right? Our interactive workshop, which is tomorrow, Buying Influences. And that's January 27th, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific for you West Coast types. And just wanted to kind of briefly go through what we do and how we do things at Sales Concepts. Our claim to fame is customization. I'll pull that down. And engagement is the key. It's 60 minutes of pure engagement. And we have people from different industries, titles, positions, and we encourage all to ask questions, to engage with others during this interactive process and get your questions answered. So I'm going to dive right into where we were yesterday. And if you remember distinctly, we were talking about those buying influences, and there were four. And the first one that comes up is coach, and that's anyone who can that provides information on the situation, customer, or project. Now, we're going to delve into this in depth outline tomorrow. Again, that's at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and I'll pull up the information where you can actually register. But when you look at what a coach is, it could be somebody that's an admin, a receptionist, a warehouse manager, or even another manager. And these are very, very excellent allies to have in your hip pocket, whether you're engaging face to face, whether you're doing it virtually, and or whether it's via the infamous telephone. Some of us don't like that telephone, right? I'm just kidding. But point being, you need to factor that in when you're talking to an account and being strategic about it. And sometimes what happens is we tend to look ahead a little bit too far. We tend to look ahead just a tad bit far. There it is again, right? And so by doing that, we kind of miss opportunities along the way. So that's a great stopping off point when you initially engage with someone at a major account. When you're trying to penetrate it, don't overlook a potential coach because they can open up some doors like you would not believe. And then the next thing we talked about is technical buyers, right? And these are people who evaluate the product, service, the vendor regarding their area expertise. And they usually are. For instance, it could be, somebody in marketing, HR, purchasing. Those are some, even a CFO. And those are good people to have on your side too, knowing the entire process when you go through this. Like I said, that's the technical buyer. And I'm going backwards again, if you remember from yesterday. And then the user, right? That could be a sales manager, could be an operations manager. And when I say that, if it was IT related, whether it's a new program you're implementing or a service, and that's just an example. And it's important to know who these people are because they have some skin in the game, as they say, and they're going to have a lot to say how far you move along in this process. Now, obviously, where you really want to go, and sometimes we shoot right here, which is a good thing to do. It's always good to start high, right? But sometimes you may not have the latitude, the economic buyer, and when you're dealing with user, technical buyer, or a coach, they can help you get to that economic buyer. And this is the person ultimately, as you can see, I have the fist, the collision, and another fist. That's the pound. They actually have the juice, as I say, and it's worth the squeeze to say yes on spending money on your product or service without getting permission. And when you're dealing with this person, that is a beautiful thing. It happens every now and then. And in some organizations, as you know, the journey can be long. And so it's always good to follow a process, and that's what we're about. But the economic buyer, for example, could be legal. Hey, how about that one? Or a CFO. So I just wanted to give you those examples. We have somebody out here in the audience, and look who it is. It is the man himself, Charles Coachman. He is one of the hardest working individuals out there on this virtual thing. Good morning, Peachtree Corners, and to the master of sales concepts. Hey, thank you so much, Charles. If ever we can help you out, let me know. Like I said, I'm just sharing what we're doing tomorrow, which will begin again 11 a.m. Eastern, uh, 8 a.m. Pacific. So, and it is on buying influences. Very important to know this. And one of the things I do want to stress here is some of the things you're going to learn, and I'll just knock these out real quick. Like the topics covered, we're going to talk about 4 types of people in accounts and what's important to them. And like I said, 60 minutes, so we're going to be moving fast. And then some of the learning objections. I'll touch on one. Learn how to work with different types of people in an account, regardless of their position. Very important. That's why we touched on these 4. And then desired outcomes. We're going to talk about thorough penetration of an account at all levels. And like I said, there will be a moderator to keep it moving, keep it hopping. And look at this. How do I do this, Mark? How can I get involved? You know, if I really want to check you out and see what you're about and see if what you're going to bring to the table is of value, you can reach me this way, mgassert at salesconcepts.com. You can register right there is the link. Okay? www.salesconcepts.com, buying influences. It is $139, as you can see. And here is my pledge to you. When you register and you engage and you come back to me and say, hey, Mark, this was a bust. I got absolutely nothing out of this, no value whatsoever. The $139 will be refunded to you. There is my infamous telephone number, 678-624-0895. You can give me a call right now if you want and tell me how I'm doing. And as always, you can reach me on LinkedIn, direct message me, Instagram, Facebook, feel free. Once again, we talked about the buying influences, those 4. And tomorrow, if you can join us, it will begin Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. And just real quick, I'm going to go through these 4 for us real quick, just for fun and games. Number 4 is the coach, right? We talked about that. Number 3, the technical buyer. Number 2, the user. And number 1, the primo person of all, the economic buyer. That is the individual that can squeeze the trigger and can make it happen. Now, with that, I'm simply going to say, don't forget, go register if you'd like to. I'm just sharing this content. And if you feel it was of value, let me know. Let me know how I'm doing out there in the virtual land. Hopefully, we'll see you eventually. If not here, we have a workshop every Wednesday. So we pick a subject and target it for you, the listening audience, and feel free to give me a call if you'd like as well. Once again, always, 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 Mark's message via Sales Concept, Peachtree Corners, Georgia, the peachiest place on the planet. Here to say, be a leader, be a friend, most important of all, be of service, and join us tomorrow if you have nothing better to do. I'm teasing, but give us an opportunity and allow us to show you the value we bring to the table. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a very successful Tuesday. Catch you.